So the summary is sexually transmitted infections, or STIs as we often call them. It's not STDs, sexually transmitted diseases. We try and recognise it as an infection. It's like we used to be called the old VD clinics. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to take that away of, you know, we're not VD clinics where people sneak in with a raincoat at 2 a.m. It's a part of a general health and well-being service, because if none of us would be here if it wasn't for sex. So you've got to look at it that way. So it's a sexually transmitted infection, bacterial, treat with antibiotics, viral, may resolve or remain for life, as we had that conversation. HIV, unfortunately, will stay for life. Some will resolve, like the HPV. Chlamydia is the most common in that young group that you see. So having a conversation with your young people, I don't know whether or not you incorporate sexual health information or questionnaires or discussions, but get your little antennas up. If someone comes in and goes, I'm feeling very unwell, or I don't know what's going on, it hurts when I pee, you know, or you know, I keep getting my period all the time because I don't know what's going on. Period spotting and things like that during sex can be an indicator of an infection as well. So just get your little spidey senses, they'd say, up and just ask the questions about young people, because sexual health is very important. You will quite often, unfortunately, see a lot of young people who are sexually active, who may well have been sexually active before they really wanted to be. So have those conversations with young people about, because we can have a conversation with them, we can do contraception, we can support them in a number of things as well. Condoms provide protection from most, but not all, STIs. Unfortunately, herpes is one that, unfortunately, condoms will give some protection, but it's a virus that sits on the skin, it can be transferred. Contraception is an important discussion to have with both young men and women and anybody else. So, everybody. I would like to take that out and I just put everybody, but that's all right. And that's the resources I was talking about. So you've got your sexual health info line, which is an info line that we link in with, and you have nurses at the end of it, and someone can ring up and go, I'm worried, I had unprotected sex with somebody the other night and I don't know what to do. They'll just send you off to somewhere like us. You've got your family planning helpline. Family planning website's a good website because a lot of it talks about just general developmental stuff as well. So yeah, there may not necessarily be anything wrong. We often get a lot of young men and women, and I will use that term men and women because they're just learning about their anatomy, but we get people coming in and they go, I think there's something wrong with my penis. And it's actually nothing wrong with their penis. It's just their perceptions of what a penis is supposed to look like is very different to what they have. There's lots of different normal, so we talk about that as well. It's the same with vaginal. A lot of women get worried about their labial flaps and they talk about plastic surgery and all those sorts of things. So one of the things that we try and encourage young people to recognise is that they're actually okay. And I can remember doing a talk one day with the young people, and we used to do the post-it notes where we get questions, because some people are very embarrassed and want to talk about it. So you put out post-it notes, people will write a question, they come up here. Anyway, at the end of it, I got a post-it note given to me, and it was by a young male, and he said, there's this condition called pearly penile papules. It's a great term, but it's just a normal anatomy, glandular anatomy. You get these little bumps every now and again. And I showed a picture of it. And he comes up to me and he says, I thought there was something really wrong with me and I thought I had an infection, even though he'd never been sexually active. But they get this. He said, until I saw that picture I realised I'm normal. Made my day. So yeah, reassuring people sometimes that the normal is okay and that there are all different sorts of normals. Family planning website, as I said, no, it's true. Oh, website and helpline. Your local GP and family doctor, if you've got a good one, have a conversation with them. If you don't feel comfortable with that, that's okay. You can come and see us. Q-Life. Now, this is what I talk about. Q-Life is an online counselling support service. It's run by mentors and peers, and it's to do with any young people who have querying about their gender identity. They're just not sure where they are. It's also for family members and such. It's a great resource. It's a chat room. It's called Q-Life. PFLAG, that's the general email. Here's the big one. And mine is, mine is PFLAG Illawarra Southern p.flaggy@gmail.com. And then I've got a Facebook page, which is p.flaggy Laura Southern. And then you've got your videos there. That's a very brief overview of sexual health services. I did the HPV and the chlamydia because they are two of the most common ones we look at. Young people, it's most common with them. We are seeing an increase in gonorrhea. Gonorrhea is one of the superbugs where they're becoming resistant to antibiotics. So we're really having to manage those sorts of things. If you have any questions or anything you don't understand, please ring us. There is no stupid question, trust me. And we will answer or offer any referral or advice that we can possibly do. If we don't know, then we'll find out for you. And that goes for being a parent or a caseworker or a counsellor or a social worker or whatever you choose to be. Any questions? If you can think of any, let me know. If you're not sure, you know where we are. And you know us. That's it. Thank you.